I'm about to settle the biggest debate in metal history, and you're not going to agree with this list. This isn't just another video. I'm going to rank the top 10 thrash bands ever. This is the list that will either finally end the argument or start a literal war in the comments below. And I'm ready for the war, so let's go. Kicking things off at number 10, we are going straight to Germany for the legendary Sodom. While America was starting the Bay Area scene, these guys were creating something way darker and more chaotic. Led by the incredible Tom Angel Ripper, Sodom was a violent explosion of proto-black metal and pure hardcore speed. Their insane 1989 album, Agent Orange, is all about the horrors of war, and it is still one of the best-selling German thrash albums in history. For creating a sound that was this grim and leading the charge for German thrash, Sodom easily makes this list. They didn't just play thrash, they turned it into a weapon. At number 9 is a band that is the definition of East Coast grit, Overkill. Everyone always talks about the Bay Area, but Overkill was building their own empire on the other side of the country. They have been one of the hardest working bands in metal for over 40 years, and they have never ever slowed down. With Bobby Blitz Ellsworth's insane vocals and Dee Dee Verney's bass lines that sound like a freight train, Overkill's sound was pure punk rock rebellion mixed with classic metal. An album like The Years of Decay is a masterclass in how to write a song, mixing crazy speed with crushing breakdowns. They never got as huge as the Big Four, but their fan base is one of the most dedicated on earth, which makes them undeniable legends. They are the working class heroes of thrash. For our number 8 spot, we're flying to Brazil for a band that brought a totally unique energy to the entire world, Sepultura. In the mid-80s, the Cavalera brothers were creating something absolutely insane in Belo Horizonte. Their first few albums were raw and wild, but their 1989 album, Beneath the Remains, put the entire planet on notice. That album and their next one, Arise, showed they were pushing thrash to a place that was so dark and brutal, it literally helped create the entire death metal genre. Sepultura's sound was all about Max Cavalera's insane vocals and an aggressive tribal rhythm that no other band could even touch. They proved that the best thrash in the world could come from anywhere. We're going back to Germany for number 7 with another titan, the unbelievable Kreator. If Sodom was the band obsessed with war, Kreator was the band that sounded like pure, uncontrollable rage. Led by the screaming vocals and insane riffs of Millie Petroza, Kreator took aggression to a level nobody had ever seen. Their 1986 album, Pleasure to Kill, is a historic landmark, not just for thrash, but as one of the biggest influences on all of death metal. It is controlled chaos, a non-stop attack of speed and brutality that is still terrifying to listen to today. Later albums got more complex, but they never lost that vicious sound. For setting a new standard for music extremity, Kreator's spot is locked. At number 6, we have the one band that so many people say should have made it a Big 5, Testament. They showed up in the Bay Area scene a little late, but they immediately proved they were on another level. What made them so special was their insane musical talent. They had all the aggression of thrash, but they played with a technical skill that other bands just didn't have. Chuck Billy's voice is absolutely gigantic, going from a gut punch roar to an incredible melody. And Alex Skolnick, he is easily one of the most gifted guitar players in all of metal. It's not even a debate. Their first album, The Legacy, was a mind-blowing debut, and albums like The New Order and Practice What You Preach proved they were masters of thrash, writing songs that were unforgettable and heavy as hell. Okay, we're halfway through, and I bet half of you have already clicked away. If this list has made you angry, do me a favor and destroy that like button and subscribe right now, because I promise the top 5 will make you even angrier. We are cracking the top 5 with the band that has a real claim to being the first Bay Area thrash band ever. Exodus. They formed all the way back in 1979, before literally anyone else. And you'll never guess who their original guitarist was. Some guy named Kirk Hammett? I wonder what he's doing now. Seriously, just imagine what would have happened if their first album, Bonded by Blood, came out when it was supposed to. By the time it was released, the thrash scene was already huge. But it doesn't even matter. Bonded by Blood is a perfect thrash album. It is raw, it is chaotic, and it is violent, all driven by Gary Holt's revolutionary riffs and the insane energy of Paul Bailoff. As the architects of the entire Bay Area sound, Exodus is untouchable. Alright, it's time. We are officially in the Big Four. This is where it gets crazy. At number 4, it's the band that brought shorts, skating, and fun to thrash. Anthrax. While every other band was singing about doom and gloom, Anthrax had a sense of humor and a punk rock energy that nobody else had. They were the ones who built the bridge between metal and punk, creating the crossover sound. Between Scott Ian's crunchy guitar and Joey Belladonna's incredible melodic vocals, their sound was impossible to ignore. Their 1987 album, Among the Living, is a perfect thrash record from beginning to end, filled with anthems like Caught in a Mosh and Indians. Anthrax proved that thrash could be aggressive and still be fun. They literally taught us how to mosh, and for that alone, they are legends. At number 3, we have a band that was created out of pure revenge, Megadeth. After he got kicked out of Metallica, a furious Dave Mustaine poured all of his unbelievable talent into a new band with just one goal: be faster, heavier, and more technical than his last one. And honestly, he pretty much did it. Megadeth brought a level of guitar skill and lyrical anger to thrash that no one could compete with. Mustaine's incredibly complex riffs and snarling voice are the sound of the band. From the raw power of Peace Sells But Who's Buying to the absolute perfection of 1990s Rust in Peace, Megadeth's music is a monument to genius that was forged in rage. The Metallica versus Megadeth debate will go on forever, but there is no denying that Megadeth is a titan. You can't even have a top 10 list without this band. At number 2, it is the undisputed kings of extreme music, the most aggressive and uncompromising band in the history of metal, Slayer. While other bands were trying to be more melodic to get on the radio, Slayer sprinted in the other direction, writing songs about death, war, and Satanism with a sound that was genuinely scary. In 1986, they released Rain and Blood, a 28-minute masterpiece of pure, unfiltered rage that is still one of the heaviest albums ever made. It set a new record for speed and brutality, influencing every death metal and black metal band that came after it. With the chaotic, dueling guitars of Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman, the inhuman drumming of Dave Lombardo and Tom Arias' terrifying scream, Slayer was the pinnacle of musical violence. They never sold out, they never compromised, and they are thrash metal. And here we are, the number 1 spot. I know half of you will agree and the other half will unsubscribe, but I don't care. The number 1 thrash band of all time is Metallica. This might seem like the obvious choice to some of you and an infuriating one to others, but you can't argue with the facts. And the entire case comes down to 3 albums: Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, and Master of Puppets. Their 1983 debut, Kill 'Em All, basically invented the genre. Then Ride the Lightning came out and showed the world that thrash could be complex and progressive. And in 1986, Master of Puppets was released, which is arguably the single greatest metal album of all time. A perfect display of power and songwriting that launched thrash into the stratosphere. Before they became the biggest band on the planet, Metallica built the foundation for all of thrash metal. They were the pioneers, the innovators in the band that dragged the genre into the mainstream. For that, they are number one. So that's the list, my official definitive top 10 thrash metal bands of all time. This list was all about legacy, influence, and the pure power of the music that started a revolution. These are the bands that built the genre we love. But that's just my list. Now I want yours. Let the war in the comments officially begin. What is your top 10? Who did I get completely wrong? Who did I miss? Drop your rankings down below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep on thrashing.